After the War of 1870, the French defeated soundly by the Prussians, it was now time to consolidate the Prussian Germanic Empire, both to the west and certainly to the east, where Prussia was bordering with Russia. Much had been learned from the war about fortresses and the use of new cannons, and it was time to rethink the fortress as well. Now, you do remember how Fortifications was the testing grounds where they experimented with new gun turret designs, or Wagner, where they constructed long square artillery blocks thereafter. But what you have never seen is the prototype artillery casemate which came before. There are only 2 of these in the world today, and today I'm going to show you one, Fort number 1, in the Teutonic city of Torun. Torun was located right on the border with Russia, so it was key to defend the city, and from 1872, within some 32 years, almost 200 fortifications was constructed here. 7 main fortifications, 6 medium-sized forts, 6 artillery batteries, 32 infantry shelters, 52 shelters for artillery and ammunition, and more, surrounding the entire city, interlinking the defenses. Fort number 1 was the newest and the most modern of these. In fact, it was the most modern fort on the entire eastern line, with its own electricity, radio, its own well, and 4 rotating steel turrets with the largest 210mm howitzers installed in the fortress. It was a fort initially constructed in brick and granite, but with the development of the smokeless powder and the torpedo shell in 1885, it underwent a new revolution. And here you will see the first layout of an artillery block, but not like anything you have ever seen anywhere else. Now, of course, here were also rotating observation domes, and something else I have only seen here in town, the first Panzerplattes, the layered steel-covered observation positions, and for the first time for me, we get to see them inside. And also, of course, on the ramparts were both 9cm and 15cm cannons, and naturally a 𝐾𝐿 with rotating guns and a raising bridge at the entrance. During the early stages of World War I, the 21cm howitzers were fired at suspected Russian troops, but saw little action besides, and after 1920, the Germans had to hand over the fortress to the Polish, stripped of armaments, of course, which was unfortunate as it would have served the Polish when fighting the Russian communists there shortly after. During the Second World War, there was little activity here, and after that it was handed over to the Russians, thereafter the Polish civil authorities. Since then, there had for decades operated a winery, which had seen some modifications of some of the walls and the raising of one of the floors, but it is now cared for by a group of dedicated volunteers, and who had done an amazing job of restoring and slowly bringing this back to life, naturally with no funding whatsoever. My new friend Michael here will take us through this amazing place, so let's go.
There are 15 in total. There are 7 middle class ones, and the rest are the main forts. As you can imagine, they just vary in sizes, so this is the smaller type one. Just the middle one, and they added a battery of 4 rotating gun turrets to it.
Here?
Yeah.
So you have the steel cupolas here.
Yeah.
So this is an artillery fort.
Yeah.
I am much intrigued, especially when you said experimental things. They started building things here that was tested for the first time, or?
The fort nickname was armored because they have implemented in whole structures a variety of powerful equipment that could withstand continuous fire barrage at it. So we will see the armored
cupolas.
Not.
Oh,
observation point.
It's an observation point.
And also the 3 remaining battle stations with rotating gun turrets.
It's a little it's a little bricked up.
Yeah.
There was a business here that bricked it up afterwards.
It would be like this, but with mounted inside revolving gun turrets.
Ah, they had the revolving guns here, of course.
So it was the 𝐃𝐨𝐧'𝐭 5-barrel rotating cannon.
Yes.
It was a 3.6 centimeter gun, so quite a large caliber.
I know.
Just to cover with fire either side of our, how do you say, not trench, how do you...
It's a ditch. This has a ditch all the way around. There's a firing point here too.
As we can see,
Yeah.
it was just bricked up. As we can imagine, all Prussian forts were made symmetrical, so from the other side of the fort we will be seeing the same structure. These 3 rooms inside, they were just latrines, so water closets, how do you say it?
Yes.
The funny thing about the old Prussian forts, because as we can imagine the more recent construction, the fort is just a place to hide. But here we can say, we can see the state of the art of the brickwork. In Polish we can call it state of the fashion, because the Prussian wanted to make a statement with that.
Of course.
Not only they can build something that is sturdy, but something that is beautiful.
And this was really the last generation of fortresses that really had the decoration, because after this, the forts had to be shorter and cemented, and it was a whole new threat. Oh, this is gorgeous. This is very high to the ceiling.
Yes, it should be separated with another wall here, but it was demolished by the wine company.
So you had the drawbridge, and you had the fighting position, the defensive position, coast defensive,
Yes.
inside.
On the brink of demolishing the gate, you can know that the enemy will try to engage further into the fort. They could build a barricade here. You have some force like this here, just to make a makeshift ladder here. So
Oh, yes.
on this port on the wall from the one side to other side, you could barricade with...
And there's still one there as well.
So they started building the whole structure in 1888, and they managed to build it all in only 4 years.
And it's very interesting that they built this in brick in 1888, because at that time they already knew they had to start using steel reinforcement with cement to withstand the new shell developments.
Oh yeah.
That's very interesting. That's actually very strange that they started building that at all in brick.
That's where the ditch were, so we can shoot the ditch.
And that was for the light?
No.
No, this was...
This should be also like that. That's with the wine company implementation.
But there was light.
Yes, of
They would
course.
have had the projectors here.
There was an electric light only.
So we're under the Caponnier now, or
No,
no?
we are under the bridge.
We're under the bridge.
So that's where the counterweight is. That's the thing. Mind the gap of the hole. And that's the bridge.
That is brilliant to see the bridge from down below.
You can even see the shooting holes on these little chains.
Yes, because you would open this up, and then it would be a wall.
Yeah.
There was a door there too, or
No.
there was opening in?
There were two shooting windows. You can see. If you recall, I told you about these latches here,
Yeah.
hooks. You can see here. And there is a guideline provided.
Yeah. So did you have to do a lot of work to this to make it work, or?
WT-40.
WD-40.
And as you say in USA, a whole lot of elbow grease.
Yes.
That's the pivot line, no. That one.
Yeah. Well, that's where 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞 goes over.
Yep.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
And easy.
It is. My favorite caponniere.
We even have a laminated panel about the revolving cannon.
Well, the steel plate is here.
Of course it is.
I mean, when it's this exposed, it's not a far stretch for somebody to have stolen it.
Try.
I said someone, not me alone, of course. Munition shelf.
Yes.
And then you had the firing ports.
For troops, of course.
Yeah. With a big heavy embrasure that could be closed.
And now you can say we've been everywhere.
Yay. And these were firing positions too, right?
For the 𝐬𝐻-𝐾 cannons, yes. Electricity, the running water came from all two separate wells. And the radio was a state of the art. And of course the 4 gun towers.
That had radios too.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. Gorgeous. It really is gorgeous construction.
Oh, you will see gorgeous when we get to the battle station. So now we are going to the observation points.
So what are the hooks for? Here, is it just for spare wood?
All of the ceiling was protected by some kind of the metal.
You had the arched steel beams? Holy crap.
They are partially present on the other side of the fort. So
Oh, thank God for that. I'd never seen that in a brick fort before.
here we've got a room with some kind of exhibition of what we could.
So what did you get? What did you find? So did the Germans sit up here during World War II? Did they do anything with it?
No. But afterwards they get out, the Russians came in and destroyed almost everything.
Oh, that's what the Russians always do. This
You
is
know
a powder.
what's that?
Yes, I know what that is.
Safe light.
Yes, it is. There's a glass plate missing. Well, actually, did the French had the glass plate? The Prussians had the lamp with the light inside.
Yes.
So was there a glass plate as well?
Should be.
They should have been, shouldn't they? Yeah.
Also a mirror.
Also, yeah, mirror, yeah.
We kind of won a city project 6 years ago, and the city just gave this whole area for us. Just take it, mend it, manage it, leave us alone.
Is that for?
Ventilation.
That's ventilation.
Yeah.
The Prussians were very big on ventilation.
We are now standing in the ammunition room that was supposed to provide the upper level with quick supply of artillery shells.
That explains why there's an ammunition elevator here.
Yep.
Would it run on this?
No.
I've never been inside an ammunition elevator before.
That's just for protection for the cables that ran.
Oh, okay.
You would see it all around. That's the funny thing. No. They could make stairs out of anything, even concrete. And that would be a surprise thing.
That is a concrete staircase.
But it is not. It's a granite. Granite? How do you say it?
Granite, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
you can see the hand.
huge and heavy, yeah.
It's like to say, we can do it. We have the money.
Well, I mean, you're Prussian, you gotta.
We dig this up about 300 or 500 meters that way, and the road to the fort just begins.
Is that a flamethrower tank?
Yeah, one military expert just said, make 3 steps back. What the hell is that doing here? I don't know, it's an old fire extinguisher. Sir, it's not a fire extinguisher.
No, it's not.
It's a flame.
Did they train here during World War I?
They might. We don't have this kind of information.
So you don't have any other archival information about this fort?
You know, just having anything like plans or something that would give us more information is strictly very hard because it's all in the archives under their government, and that's now it's classified still.
That is the coolest looking staircase I've seen in a very long time.
You will see a cooler one.
This just looks like this looks exactly what you want a staircase to look like in a fort. And I've noticed that all the bricks are no longer red.
Yeah. This is the middle bunker.
Oh, the crew shelter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So you had the benches in here.
It should be. We got the original kind of bench here, when you can rest the stock of your gun.
Just a little bit left of it. I mean, a little bit is better than nothing.
Oh yes. We even have some kind of painting here.
Oh, ooh, that's going to be a thing to restore, isn't it?
Tropics or something.
Yeah, it's a palm tree.
And a tent, I think.
There's no date on this, is there? That's very strange I mean, usually the soldiers would paint things they would miss inside bunkers, things they would like to see outside. But palm trees?
The ventilation shaft.
Okay. So that was attached to this.
Like beneath, yes.
So they painted all this white.
Reflective?
Yeah, that's a good reason. And it makes it look friendlier too, I guess.
Oh, there's a lot of water here. Do you mind the water?
No. I will swim through this fort if I have to.
So there should be an exit here and on the other side of this wall, just to provide us with a first exit point to the out of the fort. But it was just destroyed and break up by the wine company.
This is
original doors.
Yeah.
Don't ask me where we managed to find them.
I'm actually surprised they're so big because some of the doors are only a little shorter than the 2 break doors. What am I standing on?
So that was the second exit, the little one.
That's the little, there, yeah.
This is going on this L shape, they call it the labyrinth one.
Yeah, they lock the doors in with a bolt into these, so they'll be locked in.
Yep. And here we got the upper part of the ammunition. How do you say it in
Elevator.
Elevator, not lift.
Yeah, lift, elevator, same thing really.
You can can try to move it. It's not that hard, really.
I know. It's just amazing. It still moves after all of these years.
We just needed to apply
WD-40.
Yep. This.
And is that a maker's mark?
Yep.
Was it 𝐾𝐨𝐬𝐵𝐵𝐿 or was it 𝐾𝐿?
𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐿,
Of course.
And it's still working. We've just missed the other elements of the lift. So you can see we've got all of these holes. So that's where the hooks were mounted in.
Yeah.
To provide us with this security level of
I'm learning something new today. I really like learning new things. I do like this space. And I can follow the electricity, the electrical.
We've got here the original ones. Even in that time they wanted to make sure that the electrical cords will be secured inside of the steel pipes.
Again, one of the things I have never seen. There are things here, I've already seen things that I haven't seen and I didn't know, and I fucking love it.
And this is where the other prototype thing begins. Anticipation, yeah.
I know. It's like sometimes you go through a fort and the dark hallway, you take that to the end because you know it's going to be good.
So, they wanted to add 2 observation points, the very small ones, how do you call it?
The observation domes?
Yeah, WT19. So
Yes, the small little 2 holes in
Mark
front.
II.
Yes.
So, as you can see, by this division in the brickwork here, they just added this whole structure to the standing already present.
So this was originally the outside of the end of the fort?
Yes.
And so when did they build this?
A year after.
So okay, so still almost
Yeah.
within the same.
But we can see the newer system here.
Yeah.
Because all on the previous added ones just was the steel beams supplemented by this dome-like very thick layer of metal.
Corrugated metal.
We've got a meter of concrete above us and then 2 meters of dirt, yeah. But not this type, the other type.
The beams.
The beams, yeah, they had to dissipate the force with bending inwards.
The arch beams, yeah. And I can't wait to see those because I've only seen them in pre-World War I Russian forts.
Mind the water.
You know, my shoes are actually semi-water resistant.
Mine not.
Ah, sorry. So, would you like to borrow a pair of boots?
No, thank you. That's what we had from this single man observation point called 𝐬𝐻𝐷.
I know, and you still have the little rotating handle.
Yes.
And the seat would flip out.
The seat we had downstairs on this.
Cool.
Our dome is in the other museum. They stole it. Borrowed it when the fort was without any man who runs it.
So you don't have a steel dome because the other museum stole it?
Not stole it, just
appropriated it.
Yeah.
What museum is this?
We've got this famous acoustic.
Yes. And you have a little mist that has its own atmosphere. Underground is just so peaceful, especially because your phone can't ring. No one can.
It's called echography. It's called the acoustic acoustic, how do you say, to improve improve something. Amplifier.
Amplification? Yeah, I guess it is an amplification.
We have this feeling if you shout order here, it rings in all entirety of the floor. Do you want to go?
Yes, sir. Yes, absolutely.
So that was the funny thing. This is the only corridor inside the Torun fortress which could let us outside of the fort.
But did this originally lead down to 𝐬𝐻𝐾𝐿?
Yes.
So,
The whole function of this corridor was to supply troops to the outer regions of the fort without exposing them to the elements of what's happening outside.
of course. So what happened to the 𝐬𝐻𝐾𝐿? Does it still exist?
No, it was destroyed.
Russians?
Yep.
Shocking. Oy. Well, at least, I mean, you see what it was made of.
Turn around and say something.
Something. So we could record music down here, but we really couldn't. Why did the Russians blow this up?
That's a good question.
I mean, it doesn't do anything to anybody.
They even managed to destroy one of the gun turrets. So, beats me.
I mean, they're Russian. That's kind of what the Russians do, I found.
They wanted to destroy anything that will provide their own troops with this kind of corridor with electricity just to provide it with light.
That's true.
Like here.
Oh, this is a different staircase.
It is.
Crew shelter?
Yeah.
Any drawings?
Nope. Just a big amount of broken glasses.
Okay.
There should be exit here.
There's the steel beams I'm used to.
Yep. Oh. You will love that. Yeah, they are the original doors here.
These are wooden doors.
They are quite rusty, this one. They are moving better. They weighed, how do you say it in pounds, about 150 kilos each.
Yeah.
That's the structure I was talking about, just to dissipate the shockwave they were meant to bend inwards. And firstly, the project wanted to make the observation point there. But we would be inside of the not so observant point, so they wanted to make it be 20 meters that way. But, how to make the observation point extend without any visible changes to the whole structure outside? They have to make
Everything underground, yeah.
Yep.
So it's really interesting. There's a lot of things going on in the ceiling here.
So that's where the one of two main radio things were.
So this was for radio room.
Yeah, as you can see, the whole how do you say it, electrical ways came here. Is the other.
Ammunition lift there.
We just get the wheel to the renovation.
Okay. Are you thinking about trying to make it run?
One, yes. It's quite a costly project, but we have to make. So.
Yeah, I wanted to visit the citadel down in the town next, but I can't because I'm not Polish.
Why?
It's on military property,
Okay.
so I had to ask. That's 2 weeks in a time. 2 weeks in a time.
Polish guy.
Oh, they take names and ID and everything.
Fuck.
I know. I was like, oh. I said, how about my American military ID? We're on the same side. I said, no, we need to ask for permission. Oh.
One off. This is the right one, and we've got the left one.
So,
That's the armored.
you think that staircase can hold me?
Of course.
Good. Oh, this is beautiful shape.
This is made from
Prussia.
the Prussians. Did it so. Made from Prussians. And even look, the safe rail.
My God, there's a safe rail. I'm in a fish.
We've got almost 57 tons of steel, of layered steel. That is, width is about 30 centimeters on the whole structures. It's all supported by these beams that goes into the granite blocks. And just to make it not make so much sound where it would be hit, it was laid on the oak?
Yeah.
Yeah, oak beams. This one quite survives, that one does.
But that's kind of good because then you can see what was inside.
Oh yeah.
And it actually curves like an airplane wing.
Yes. And you also can see the points where they bind the two.
Oh, there it had a little clamp, like the old stonemasons.
Yes.
Like, yeah, the little butterfly clamp. Holy crap!
They call it dovetail.
Dovetail. It does, yeah. And then they had the sliding things that are definitely not sliding anymore.
It's not.
But
how can you slide something that is stuck
yeah,
by the rod?
that's going to be a little bit of renovation work there, and a lot of WD-40. So can we?
All this came from the Magdeburg. From the Gruson steelwork company.
Well, Gruson they were good at making things like this. This is brass.
Yes, it is.
That's brass, yeah. So can we call this the world's first Panzerplatte?
Maybe.
Theoretically, couldn't we?
Theoretically,
Sure it
yeah.
could.
Making the significance of it all, our city, the Torun city, after the Great Division, how do you say it? When they split the Polish.
Which one?
The second one.
Oh, in 17, 19?
Yeah. When they just divided Poland, our new frontier, how do you say it? Border, yes, was only 5 kilometers that way.
So that's why you fought with the Russians in 1920 around here.
Of course, and the Prussians wanted to fortify the city to the limits because it was
I don't know.
no,
A piece of metal
yep,
with a thing
some
and
kind of a holder, I think.
I know.
Maybe.
Right there.
So we've got the running, one of the biggest railways here. The railway.
That explains. That's the way you have all these fortified railway
Yep.
towers as well.
So they wanted just to make an example of Torun city. You know, we are on the border, but we are forced to be reckoned with. That's a double thing. Even that we've got electrical lights here on the instant.
There's still for her lamp.
Yep.
I figured there'd be a little lamp hanging there. This was also just a year. This was 1888, 89, 90.
Yep. Just to build that, we've supplied that kind of concrete work because this is about 3 meters deep.
Yeah, they had to dig it in and then lift these things in sections.
Yeah.
So they had to build the crane to move these.
Imagine that kind of workforce without the modern things like, I don't know, the caterpillar things, excavators.
Yeah.
This hooks was provided to just lift it on the train.
I'm surprised scrappers didn't destroy this. This is amazing. And you had the wood dowels to running the cabling on as well, for the electrical. Oh, this definitely made my day. So you never finished your story about how you got involved in this.
I told you. One day I came here just to help my friends because they know a guy who is making some kind of work with the fort. So I was immediately hooked up. After some time they see that I'm a go-getter type of guy, and that was 4 years ago.
I mean, I always did say you should always invite an electrician to any party. Is that a ring to move one of the cannons?
Yes, it is.
Well, why? Where would the cannon have gone here?
Because they wanted to supply the cannons outside. And
This was once, of course, this was once the outside.
yeah,
And then it became a ventilation hole.
yes.
And then it became a big plug. Oh, all the really ran electrical here. And it's all here. God, I love that it's all here.
Ceramic isolators, yes.
Were these naked wires or were they covered?
No, it was covered in some kind of impregnated cloth.
Yes, because I know some of the French World War I forts. They actually had naked wires, but separated.
That would be not to the code with compressions.
No, it didn't work well, especially not if you're a big-footed pigeon. I love these hooks because now you told me what they were for.
Let's look at the position here, because our fort is not only running with us. We've got here the archery range.
That's how you held the corrugated iron. I have learned something. That is absolutely... It's funny, you walk through these forts so many times and you see things and you really don't know what the hell they are until someone finally tells you. And of course all that metal was scrapped over the years.
Yes, or just degraded.
Yeah.
It's a thin layer of sheet metal. Oh yeah.
But this is brilliant because I can actually see what's what. This is the kind of stuff military nerds just love. Like, nerds like us love stuff like this. TV won't get it. This was the machine room, no?
No. It was a room for cleaning bottles.
Oh, I mean back in the...
Originally, it was just how do you say it? Staircase. You got stairs on the other side, and this is not the original wall.
But these mounts were original.
Yeah.
So a lot of electricity, cabling ran in here.
Because on the upper level, and there's a commander station, you've got the main radio station.
Ah. So that's what I'm here with this one.
It's reasonable, I don't know.
Holy crap, so they... Really?
Yeah.
They raised the fucking floor?
Yeah.
Those bastards.
More not finished part of fort.
That's the fun part. Hang on. So this is one of the crew, what is this, I'm guessing? So that means there's a ventilation hole, at least there was one here. There was the ventilation. The floor is very uneven, which is actually interesting.
Maybe they did it just to make it more manageable to clean.
I mean, it is sloping down towards the grate, so that I was looking for this. That makes perfect sense. The water will run down here if you clean it.
No, as the kitchen has to be easily cleaned.
Yeah. So what was in the alcove? Because I see these as well.
It should be accessible from both sides. So
It should have been a walkthrough, shouldn't it? Yeah. I do love original rooms. I'm a big fan of those because it gives you more of a feel of how it was. If it just is, even if it's just a naked room. Okay, I would always prefer all historical locations to be kept authentic, historical correct, without any alterations. The realist in me will also say that, well, this is keeping the place from being destroyed.
yes.
And so many of these places are being destroyed because, well, there's no money, no one cares. So if there's a hotel, at least it's going to be kept safe.
At least.
So this was a barrack room.
Yes. You can see how they constructed the fireplaces here.
This was the original fireplace
Yes.
with the ventilation coming up. So it would work on both sides in both rooms.
No,
Or setting up this.
you got ventilation.
And you have for the shutters, for the windows,
Yes.
and the ventilation.
Where?
Well, up there.
That's not the ventilation.
That's not for air.
No,
What's that for?
that was the exhaust.
Well, yeah, but it ventilates the air out.
No, there was a pipe there that was connected to this small fireplace there. Not fireplace, how do you say it?
Stove.
Oh yeah, standing stove. In Polish, literally translate to the goat.
I like bunker ovens.
And here we can see how they managed to speed up the process of making this fort to the point where all the front face cracked.
Decay because they didn't do it good enough.
That occurred with the records about 5 years after completion.
Really?
Yep.
That's really crappy. For
Yeah.
for Prussia, that's pretty damn crappy.
They made it so fast that it just cracked. I think the foundation wasn't steady.
Why were they in a hurry?
That's a good question.
I mean, 1988, there wasn't anything, or 1888, there wasn't anything going on that was pressing. What were the Prussians and the Russians? Were they in good terms in '88? I forgot. They weren't on bad terms with each other, were they? No. And the French were definitely not going to do anything for a while.
The 21-centimeter guns had a range of 6 to 8 kilometers. The shells weighed about 80 kilos each. The steel dome was 26 centimeters thick, with a 2-centimeter layer of lead in between the layers. Each had 2 ammunition lifts and a crew of 12. Hydraulics would raise the 70-ton dome 2 centimeters to rotate and fire. And the shape of the block and the layout of the domes, however, is so very different. This was the first and extremely elaborately designed artillery block, as you're about to see.
Allow me to introduce you to the, how do you say it, battle part of fort. That part, the middle part, was originally in all the middle forts. That was just the implementation of 4-gun turrets. So, we can see that the corridors are much more wider, just to give us so much extra space for transporting artillery shells and how do you say it, in the propellants?
Munition?
Yes. There are a bunch of commanding stations inside. Each one was connected, as we can see here, with a variety of communication devices. Not only electrical ones, but also the voice...
𝐶𝐿. Speaking tube.
Speaking tubes, yeah. So, the first thing we can see will be the destroyed one.
Of course.
So,
it's interesting because in my mind I'm comparing this to the Prussian artillery forts I've seen before, and they don't look like this.
no, because there are not any like this in the whole Poland, and there is only one like this in the world, in the town called 𝐬𝐮𝐻𝐫𝐞.
I have been there. Which one?
That's the prototype.
This is the prototype for Wagner.
Yes.
Yes, I see a new wall.
Yeah. Mind the stairs, they are destroyed by the...
Russians.
No.
Not?
They were just carts with oxygen and acetylene, that's the cutting agents.
And they
were blow torching the destroyed thing,
yeah, they were.
as you can see here.
Yeah, that's the old munition left.
As you can see, this whole structure was blown out and even managed to turn.
What?
But
How did... Go on.
you can see here. It is brilliant thing of present me how the segmentation of armor worked. So we've got this 21 centimeters wide steel plate, that is hardened layered steel
That's
plate.
the dome. The thing
Yeah.
above us right now is just a shell, right? You
Yes.
put up.
Yeah, that's the dome.
That's what, so. How the hell did they cut the dome and it landed like
No,
this?
They placed explosives. It ran in topple in itself, and then they cut it.
Who?
So that's the outer shell. The
Yeah.
how do you say it? Hardened.
The hardened shell, yeah.
Yeah. On the inside here we can see there is a 3 centimeters layer of lead. That's lead.
Yes.
Just to make some kind of a cushion between the layers. And then we've got non-hardened layered steel. In case we've got some kind of a bombardment, this thing crushed the patron? No. Come on, I forgot how to say shell.
Yeah, well,
The ballot, yeah.
yeah.
The thing will dampen the thing.
For the that was for the there was a periscope,
No.
or there was just a vision shot slot, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was not direct fire. This was a howitzer.
Yeah.
So there was no. And that's the butterfly to keep it together for the dovetail.
You will see it on the outside.
So the Russians blew it to scrap it, and then after it landed here, they figured out this was too hard, and they just left it.
Yes. That's the thing. It will be better visible on the other turrets, and you can see 𝐸𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞, 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐫𝐞.
So this was the one that came. This was built before Wagner.
Yes. This is the prototype. If you want to get on the top of it, be my guest.
Yeah, I figured this is not going anywhere.
There were markings there.
Oh, yeah, there would be on the inside of the beams.
Quite a thing, huh?
It's a hell of a thing seeing it like this. If you go to my YouTube channel and you go to Fortifications, I go through every bits and pieces of it over 2 episodes. And you see how it compares.
I think the spacer made of a wood.
There's a wooden spacer?
Yeah.
I mean, so at some point in time that wood will be rotted and something will shift about 2 inches.
Maybe.
Maybe.
These gun turrets have 3 levels. Level below is for the supplementation of
Munition.
fresh air and munition.
Really?
Our level is just to rise this whole structure up to rotate it, and the gun operating level.
Yeah, this was so the breech could dip. No, was it? What was this?
This whole thing is just to install a new turret inside.
To bring everything you need,
Yep.
space to bring all these. So there were spare barrels
Yes.
sitting in the hallways as well.
Yes, that's where the hooks down there came from.
15? That's original writing, isn't it?
Guess not.
This is one of the butterflies.
Yes.
One of the dovetails.
Yep.
That's amazing. Such a little piece of metal has such an important part. Prussian prototype. What can I tell you? The prototype for Wagner. All the electrical communication, the cables. This is brilliant. Absolutely stupidly brilliant. Corrugated metal. The Mexican turret up there. Don't you just love the term prototype? Oh, that is the sense beneath. The archway here under the little tunnel under the dome. That wasn't in Wagner like this. Munition lift. I mean, seriously. Layout is completely different than it is in Wagner. It is more simplified in Wagner. I'm starting to see how they figured it out and did it differently. Because when you go to Wagner, it's simplified from this.
Yes.
That's what makes this so amazing. So this was the powder store?
No, of course not.
But isn't this ventilation holes? Uh-huh.
You want to see what's on the other side of this wall from here.
Holy crap.
Yeah. There should be some kind of a ramp that gets from the observation point to the battle stations, but we don't know. It was destroyed after before we had it. So.
Why the white tile?
That's the wine company thing.
That's the wine company, okay. That explains it.
Oh yeah.
There's so many little...
Have you seen the electrical cords that are running around?
Yeah, and that's the ammunition lift again here.
Yes.
They really took this and learned something from this, and then they simplified it a lot.
That's what the prototype is for.
Yeah. So was this munition store down here, or this wasn't it?
It was just meant to hold
Shells.
shells here.
There was a little light in there, right? And then there was ventilation through the walls here. And then there's another, oh my God, this is so gorgeous. It's like you took a medieval castle and then you sort of modernized it, but you left all the little hallways like this. I mean, this is, you won't see this in Varna.
This is where the engine with this propellant were
So these
fans, yeah.
So these were moved electrically?
No, they were diesel operated.
Diesel?
Yeah. The exhaust was down there.
So, but the gun turrets, they were moved
Oh no, the gun turrets were moved by hand.
by hand, right?
Yeah.
So what?
This was just providing the fan with ventilation.
Oh, for ventilation.
Yeah.
Of course, because you have to ventilate. Yeah. And here, ventilation up.
Yes.
I love these rounds. You don't see them at Wagner either. Because it just became one solid underneath. Yeah, a little work you can make this run. Well, okay, with a lot of work you can make this. A lot of work. Maybe it will be easier to build a new one.
Oh yeah.
And they would need several rooms for this munition, because it was a two-stage munition, and they would also have to press it in. They would need a specific room to press the shell onto the casing.
We call it laboratory. Down the hallway. We'll get there.
So all of these rooms were, what were these?
All these rooms were meant to hold either the shots or the personnel who was navigating. So like this is our striking arm. We have to have a head and eyes. So eyes was obviously the observation points. The commander's rooms here on this level was our brain, and the gun turrets were our arms. So
Of course.
so if it has to be interlinked to work.
Do you have a map of this fort, like a map drawing?
Yes, of course. Wow. I see a crystal clear water. Without any light, you couldn't see that there's water here.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, this is in good shape. I mean, it was 150 years old underground. I mean, it's not in bad shape.
Sitting in water.
Sitting in water, I mean, it's not. All these little turns and it is. Yeah, you're damn right. I haven't seen anything like this before.
Prepared to be amazed. Let me introduce you to the almost whole gun turret.
It would be a silly question to ask if they left the guns in place.
Of course not.
Yeah, I don't think so. Were these short howitzers?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Well, there's a couple. We just need a crane and a welding torch and a bit of work.
You can get up on the other level.
Outstanding.
Just stand on the metal beams.
Yeah.
Almost everything is here. Without this, destroy the, how do you say, gears?
Gears.
This is the one I took. 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞𝐿. So you know how it worked.
Yeah. I assume that's still sort of the same.
We've got 12 people to operate this monstrosity. We've got 11 cannoneers and 1 commander. Of course, firstly we've got to lift this up. So there was a pump mechanism here that was supplying glycerin or some kind of
It was a grease or something, wasn't it?
yeah, to supply the piston here. We can see the piston here, and few cranks with it could elevate the whole upper structure. But they were Prussians, so they have to double on everything. In case that mechanism fail, we can operate it by hand with this gear. There was a hand crank with snail,
Yeah.
and they were slowly but steadily lifting whole thing up because the piston was engraved now with internal railing. How do you say it?
Yeah. How
With
much?
grooves.
What is it? A 30-ton dome? No, it's more. 50.
The whole thing weighs 157 tons.
And the dome that lifts is
About
50.
30 maybe. So then, if we got this whole upper part lift, we could make it rotate by 1 and 2 hand cranks that was operating these links to the chains, one on the other side, one on the side. We've got a marker that told us
where it
when
was.
we are facing. Of
Yeah.
course, it was not 360 degrees because it would give us nothing. It was divided in, how was it? 6,000?
Yeah.
Something like that. Because the gun range was from
Micrometer.
yeah. So one scale, one dot here or one line was about 6 meters
Out, yeah.
on the outer range. So it was calibrated, highly calibrated to the minimum, and after that was taking place, the final input was made by hand by the gun turret, not director, how do you say? Commander, yeah. That's down to the millimeters.
Yeah.
Just remember to step on the metal beams.
Spent quite a bit of time on some very, very, very rusty Maginot Line forts.
Avoid stepping on anything that resembles wood.
Yeah, that's pretty.
As you can see, to elevate the whole gun turret, we've got on the left and the right side this, how do we call it? We nickname it the ship.
This is the wheel.
Yeah,
This looks a lot different.
try to move it.
Yeah. This looks different than the next evolution as well. The next evolution, I seem to remember the wheels got smaller.
That's counterproductive.
This is where I'm going to do said like, watch my video. That's wood. Where is it? This is wood. Where's the next damn thing?
Here, we got it.
There it is. Oh yeah, no. That's how I do it. I will say, however, this wood in a hell of a lot better shape than what I've seen on a lot of the Maginot Line forts.
Oh. That's a shame for them.
Yeah, I know, seriously. Now, I don't remember these little holes in what I've seen before.
They are meant to bolt the outer shell with the inner shell.
Yeah. Well, it might be, maybe if it's intact, I wouldn't be able to see it.
Maybe.
Entirely possible. And the breech will then come down here.
Yep.
Oh, this was
Got
what
the crane.
was this, a 15 centimeter? Was it 15 centimeter howitzer? Or was it bigger?
21.
21. So that's why you needed the crane for the munition.
Indeed.
Oh.
It goes up here. It's handy, just get it
Yeah.
here.
21.
The biggest one in the world.
No kidding, yeah.
On the time, of course.
Yeah. Well, it became a competition real fast.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, if it's a 21, then I don't know where I can find you one. I know I can find you a short 15, but I guess that doesn't really work.
No, not really.
So I have to find you a short 21 from the late 1800s? Oh, fuck me. There was a Czech fort, they found their gun in Norway, where the Germans had moved it.
That's the outer ring, yeah. The second one. That's to this level to see if they are directed control.
Yeah, then it probably is the same now. I think this is gorgeous.
It's actual beasts.
It is.
And you can see also slabs of granite standing on the reinforced steel outer ring, and then we've got the gun tower.
Yeah.
The whole structure is estimated to cost roughly new Polish money. It will be 150 millions. Don't know how.
In new money? If they had to build one?
Yeah.
Yeah, but just wait till you start having the South Koreans, they come start building tanks here in Poland. It'll get cheaper.
Oh yeah.
I mean, 𝐬𝐿𝐵𝐿, they need some fucking competition in Europe.
Okay. And that's the thing that say that Germany won the Second World War.
𝐬𝐿𝐵𝐿?
For example, the Bayern pharmacy company,
Oh God.
all other companies that were making billions of people.
It's hard not to fall in love with a place like this, isn't it? I guess, except if you're a girl. Girls, they don't seem to be.
There's the only place like this in the whole of Poland, so there are no other 21 centimeters gun turret. There are a whole lot of 15, not 21. Not in this state.
I know.
We've got 3 of them, and they were constructed only 8. Do you know the ship monitor?
Yes.
So that was the first ship that was equipped with a rotating gun turret.
Yes.
They said that it was concept for this gun turret.
Third one's that way? Is it this big?
Yes.
Hold it. This is big. Is this where I'm going to have to ask how overgrown is this upstairs?
Massively.
I'm taking it, this is from the wine company.
Yes.
Okay.
Be my guest.
Dzięki. I'm working on learning one new Polish word every time I'm here. Polish is very hard.
So it's, as you can see, not as pretty as the previous one.
I mean, it's not ugly. Is it a little lower? No, it's not, is it?
I think gears are in much better state.
Oh, and you see the text is excellent shape there. Is this a ventilation pipe for air? This?
No,
What?
just armor from the chain.
Oh, yeah, that's what that is. Okay. Yeah, I guess you don't want your head around this thing. Oh, of course, yeah. Well, the problem is, even if you've got a gun, then you would have to restore the whole damn thing. And that would probably cost more than the gun.
I don't think that we ever find a way to provide us with money that could suffice to renovate even one gun turret. But what can we do?
I don't know, could you go to UNESCO as a heritage site?
They are not interested in this kind of building.
I mean, yeah. If they only had a concentration camp here, you'd have gotten tons of money.
Oh yeah, that's on the other side of the, not concentration camp, but the prisoner camp.
Yeah.
Fort 11th. That's where the prisoners of war was called.
Fort 11?
There were the US soldiers, the English soldiers, Spanish soldiers there.
French.
They all left markings on the...
This is still under the gun turret in there.
Yes. This is the first entrance. And this is the beginning of the corridor that runs under every turret.
That really is very, yeah, in
from there on, they all became straight. And no curves, no rounds. It literally just became square.
But squares and squares. But this curves and rounds gives you means to dissipate all of the shock waves after the shooting, obviously.
That's true. But it also complicates the construction a lot.
Of course.
So, balance. I guess we gotta figure.
So done.
So we look at powder magazine.
We call this the laboratories. That's where they combine the gunpowder room is ahead of us.
Okay. Yeah, there's certainly more ventilation in there at least.
Not in this one.
I mean, but there's ventilation running in the walls.
The thing with Prussian forts, if you see the safe light, you
Yeah.
know that there were something with gunpowder inside.
That is true. But they had ventilation in all rooms just for the sake of airflow, which is like these places really impressive because
Little supply line from the corridor. Just to the next, to the next, to the next.
this was original, right? Not
Yes.
Well, I always have to make sure it's not the wine. There really is a lot of ventilation in these fort walls. And it's interesting how the Prussians, they would run ventilation inside the walls.
Not working gunpowder.
Yeah.
And too little to dry, it can
Work too fast.
fast, yeah.
Oh, what a beautiful atmosphere again.
Beneath us there is a crossroads made from this ventilation shafts. All the inner brickwork
Yes.
as you can see here, drilled.
Really?
Yeah. The whole process is making the evaporation faster, just not to condense any water from our surroundings.
Yeah, and I love these powder magazines with the parallel walls and everything, and the crawl spaces behind.
And to save us, of course.
My favorite corridors.
Oh yeah. Let's see the other side.
You actually have. Yeah, you can switch.
And you can see the original isolators on the top, because inside obviously there is no electrical powers, but they wanted to make this.
So they actually had electrical light running around out here,
Yes.
just for the people, so they could walk to the back and turn the light on. That's a luxury.
That's a pragmatic way of thinking.
It's a luxury.
Yeah. And also you can see here the ventilation, the bigger ventilation shafts here. They're also very, straightforward.
Yeah.
And the little one So that's the ceiling. And the safe light.
It's funny, in Fort Sandorf in Kustlin, that was blown up by the Russians, which is still a very beautiful ruin. I saw a lot of these with holes in it, and I was wondering what the hell they were.
Now we know.
Now I know.
Just to invent this and implement this into the structure of whole fort. This is the state of the art. I say it almost 10 times, I guess. This is the technological marvel of the time.
It really is.
Yeah. Imagine these big mirrors here.
Yeah.
That was just meant to eliminate everything.
And with a little for the ventilation for the yeah.
Intake, exhaust.
Yeah. I guess I wrote a few books, but I guess one day I'm going to have to write a dedicated book about Prussian fortress innovations.
Oh, they made quite a few.
I mean, I haven't found a lot of books about the Prussian fortifications. I mean, a little bit here, a little bit there, but I haven't found a dedicated book on
Also,
all.
I teach you, if you will see something like that, that's just for the protection from the cables.
That's what the cables.
That's working too, as we can see. It's getting water.
So I'm guessing if we go this way, we will get to an observation dome.
Of course.
Aha.
This is the main supply of outer artillery shells. As we can see, this is quite big.
Yeah. And the shells wouldn't need as much ventilation because they were just shells.
Made ready to be lifted up.
Ah, I see the staircase. I see wood. That's not a good sign.
Why?
Look, it means somebody stole the metal.
No.
Really? But above the pit, wouldn't there be...
We enclosed it with this kind of trapdoor.
Okay. Well, in that case, oh, I see. Do I see an original 18? 16, 18, something? Well, it's getting a little warmer. I feel outside air.
Almost.
For the cables again.
Of course.
Brilliant. But again, it's brilliant in that this has to be part of the design before you start building, that you have to know that you're going to do this.
Make it afterwards, they build it, so yeah, as you see.
And this was...
Light switch.
Oh, light switch.
Yes.
And elevator. So this was for the artillery that was also on the floor, on the roof.
Yes. 5 of them.
So what was that? 15s? 15 centimeter
And
12
9s.
and 9s. So this fort had to hold a lot of ammunition and a lot of shells for a lot of different guns.
About 2 weeks of non-stop shelling. So have some Russians, but they are quite recent. I don't know this alphabet.
Neither do I. 1941? No, 41, that can't be.
That's not.
No, that's definitely not.
Small cables and bunch of voila. Even the rails are here.
Right.
Well,
I mean, thank God they didn't destroy anything.
Be aware, it's moving, so. Quite good state.
It is.
Of course it works. That's a ground wire.
That was an issue as well.
Of course. Very close to the river.
And you have lightning and you're sitting in a steel box.
Yes.
Yes, this could
Die
be.
immediately.
Yes.
Oh, there are brackets for the voice tubes here. Speaking tubes.
Speaking tubes. So, besides this city, are these anywhere in this design?
There are 8 in Torun,
Yeah.
2 in our fort, and the rest I don't really know.
Have you ever seen any anywhere else in the world?
Similar to this? No. Smaller, yes, of course.
That's what I mean. I have never seen these in any of the forts in France, any of the forts that I know the Prussians have built anywhere. I've never seen this design.
It's a PBST 86.
BBST 86.
PBST.
PB 86. PBST 86. I've seen experimental Panzerturms they built in the forts to shoot at, to see what they would take. Nothing like this.
Because this was meant to withstand the highest caliber that was the fort was equipped with.
Yeah, that's the original door.
Yeah. But there is nothing outside. Let's get some sun.
Yes. Oh, there are the Prussian doors.
Work and sand and all the things we can.
Stone.
To enter the fort from this side, from the main side, you have to get into this labyrinth
Yeah.
entrance. It's much more secure.
And there was one there too. Or there is one there.
This is also the bay for the gun tower.
Yeah. Oh my, so they're not even in a straight line, they're in a... Ah, this is awesome. So, these are the original ones.
Yes,
And that's original.
yes.
And the last one is not.
The last one is too original. The very last one.
The very last one.
Yeah.
I just forgot for quite a second that...
Oh, you can see the thing with the numeration here.
Yeah. Little dovetail there. So, are these numbered?
Yes.
They are, aren't they? This is brilliant that they're not in a straight line, because that changed too. And then somebody decided to shoot at it
Russians.
after the war, trying to see if they could hit the hole.
Maybe.
I mean, there was never any fighting here, so there was no reason to.
No. That's the funny thing. You see these imperfections?
Yeah.
This whole structure was molded in sand.
It was just like the
So
Russians did the
that's
T-34.
So that's the sand mold imprint.
And this is the split?
Yeah.
No, really? Is that
You can see the numeration here. Even.
That's brilliant. Instead of just having two straight halves, trying to piece them together.
4.
4. So this is literally the cornerstone. So the observation embrasures on that one
And
and that one.
yeah, we'll get that. Originally it meant to line them, but after that some engineers said that to further dissipate the shock wave for this high caliber gun turrets shelling, they wanted to make it on the arc.
And there are more observation slits in those than there are in the French. Now I gotta think. I wonder if I seem to remember there only being one in the ones in Wagner of the little observation ports. So we're wandering around the open air artillery positions as well.
Yes.
So were the artillery positions set up in an arc, or yeah, they were, weren't they? In a half moon around the
Yes,
back of the
yes.
fort, yeah. So they actually had in stone, not even in cement. They actually built this casemate in stone.
Yes. And there,
Well-
where the dome should be.
Yeah.
Spring, come on. We can see the Vistula River from here.
This was to guard the river crossing.
Yes.
They stole your steel dome, those bastards. Something took a bite out of it.
And shoot it.
They did, didn't they? That must have been. That was a shot. That must have been a shot that the ricocheted up and out, took a piece of it. This is cast iron, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Layered.
Layered iron, yeah.
You can even see how it's flaking.
Yeah.
But it was facing the board. The whole forest was not existent at that time. Because what could they see if there were
Yep.
so many trees as like now?
So winter, it looks a little better.
Yes.
And in the summer, we just need a whole lot of napalm and gasoline.
Yes.
Right, the American way. Yeehaw. But it's really interesting how this is flaking.
By Russian people, that's where people know what's a hell like, and that's all.
But this is a different type. This doesn't go all the way down.
Yep.
This
But
is why
this is the WT90 also, but on the outer.
with its own casemate. That's why this is cement and not stone like the other one.
And you can see they wanted to shoot it too.
And the other museum took this one as well?
No.
This is Russians?
This
Just-
wasn't recovered. We don't know what
Okay.
happened to it.
You'd think there's one sitting in a fort that's abandoned somewhere you could borrow. I mean, they don't weigh, there's only what, 1.5 tons?
No.
So those two holes, or they're not really holes, what are they?
We were inside.
No, these. Are they for they're for mounting?
Mounting hole, yeah.
Okay, so that was, so they were cut off then.
No, they were bolted inside.
Oh, the other side. Oh, that's okay. This is pretty. Only has one bullet hole in it. What did you expect to achieve here? It's interesting because this is in so much better shape than the other one.
Yeah.
With the little groove on the nose, it almost...
Line,
That's what that was?
I guess. Without the old presenting foliage here, we could see almost anything, but now only leaves.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a funny thing. That's an old German tree called Prussian. So that's a Prussian pine, original Prussian pine. Because pines are straight and slim and not this big. This is a special type of tree that has a very good and steady root system. It's made for holding the ground together.
So they plant? No,
Yes.
they didn't.
Yeah,
You think they planted these?
of course. Look how big it is. And that one.
But they couldn't have trees up here because then the children couldn't see. A few, I guess.
Support for the lower section.
Alright. So they just pull things to get the air that
We
breaks
got
up.
a 1 meter layer of bricks, then there is this cement with stones, and then the dirt. So some kind of anchor.
Yeah. We're underground.
They are not exactly waterproof.
There's a lot of stuff going up there. Electricity and, well, there's a railing missing, I guess. Oh, well. A lot of cables went up there.
Sadly for them, the cables are an early development there. So I think the most inner cables they have is a pair, one and another.
Yeah.
So they have to.
Yeah.
So after we dig up every dirt, destroy every. We tend to dig up bottles. There are bottles from 1960 plus or 40 plus. And we decided to make this other
Exhibition.
this wine was filled with central cellars of imported wine in Torun. Fort number 1. The wine company owned 3 forts in Torun.
Can I destroy all of them?
The 7th one is now in the state of ruin. The 15th is running quite good, I think. You can see this cool.
Oh, I see a little writing there, yeah. Is it wet?
It is.
Oh yeah, the wall is wet. Again, it's amazing that something like this survived this long.
Yeah. Torn out from the old Soviet kind of era bunker. There are a lot of civil bunkers, even in Torun. Because of the 15th, yeah, 1950 and
They have a ventilation system, the
generator. This is an original Polish thing.
Polish thing.
Yeah.
I am always impressed of how a small group of individuals can manage to save and repair huge important constructions of military history. And it constantly amazes me how local governments can't seem to find even the smallest amount of money to help them. So what we're going to do on Lost Battlefields is we're going to try to find them a 21 centimeter howitzer barrel, or at least have a very proper replica made. The fort deserves it, and so does the group of volunteers keeping it alive, and if you ever visit, you must go see and try to help out. See you next week.
My name is 𝐃𝐨𝐧'𝐭. I run Lost Battlefields. Every year, I travel around the world to try to bring you to all the most interesting historical military locations from modern wars, and the World War II special projects, battlefields, forts, fortresses, and tunnels, everything else. Things you may not be able to see or go to yourselves. Please join me on Patreon or join Lost Battlefields through the website so you get access to all my files and my notes. It really does help, and like, follow, share here on the channel if you can. That helps too.